Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Friday cruise Q&A. We have Morgan from Morgan's very unofficial travel guides here today, and I'm really excited to talk to him. He's a man who has managed to cruise during 2020, and he has the ability to cruise again. So he's a very interesting guest to have on our live stream, and I'm excited to talk to him. I can see him down there. We'll get him up on the screen in a minute, but I just wanted to say a quick hello to everybody who is already in here. As normal, we have a few people who are in here a couple of hours early. Well done, and thank you to you guys who waited for this show. We've got Zachary, who was actually in here first. Well done to Zachary. Thank you for joining us. And hello to Marcus, to Lou, to Chili Pepper, to Alison, to all these names who I spoke to quite a lot of you 2 days ago, and I'm impressed if you're back to talk to me again. I haven't bored you yet this week. Oh my goodness, so many people in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us today. Lots of conversations going on here. Lots of conversations. Hello to Sean, who's in here. I did a live stream 2 days ago on my birthday, and my aim was to raise £2,000 for my friends Sean and Seth. And at the moment, we're on £1,936. So that's absolutely amazing. And thank you all so much for donating. I never thought we would get anywhere near that, but we're so close to £2,000. So I'm leaving it open for a while, and hopefully we will get across there. But it was a really good birthday within the confines of you can't go anywhere and you can't see anybody. I had a really good day. So thank you to everybody who joined me for my birthday live stream 2 days ago. A lot has happened. It was my last day at work yesterday, so I'm feeling a big sense of relief now. Very excited. Hello to every single person in the chat. I'm afraid if I go through and I say hello to everybody, we're never going to be able to talk to Morgan. And I know you guys don't want to just talk to me. Okay. Good point from Sean here. He says, a quick reminder, if you have a question for Emma or for Morgan, please start your question with question, preferably capital letters question, so that it makes it easier for me to see what is a question and what is just you guys talking to each other. Love all of your comments, but sometimes I need to be able to pick out the ones that are actual questions for me and Morgan. Right, so let's say hello to Morgan, to our special guest today. He's waiting in the wings. Come on, Morgan.
Hi, everybody.
The last time I had Morgan on my live stream was 6 months ago, if you can believe it. We were just talking about this. It feels like, I guess, forever, but also no time at all.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like a long time ago, and sometimes it feels like we just did it.
Yeah, I very last minute announced that you were coming on the live stream today, and I did have a few people who said, didn't you just talk to Morgan? Maybe that's because I was on your video last weekend. We have been talking quite a lot because Morgan was thinking about a Costa cruise, and I have taken a Costa cruise. And I was watching, well, I wasn't watching Morgan's live stream, but you mentioned me, and everybody in the comments summoned me over to Morgan's live stream. And that was really nice. It's nice to, I feel like I have an area of expertise now, Costa cruise expert.
after one Costa cruise, you're the expert.
I am. Well, one more than everybody else, it seems. So we've even got my mum in the chat today. Hello to my mum, possibly my granddad watching. I would assume my dad's watching too. Normally my mum and dad get me up on the TV, which I don't want to think about my face being on a TV. But if you're watching this on a TV, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, John, for the super sticker straight in there. I've decided to name John King Spud because he leaves more potato-related comments on my channel than anybody else. So he is.
I've been getting a lot of potatoes now too, by the way. Thank you very much. It's all your fault.
It is spread across the internet. Sometimes I'll watch a video from Tony or somebody, and I'll see some comments about potatoes. And I didn't mean to infect the cruise community with potato comments, but comments are good, right? Comments are engagement on videos. So yes. It is all good.
I'm totally happy with it. And before we continue and before I forget, Emma, I just want to say congratulations on this new chapter that's beginning now, and welcome to the world of full-time travel content creators. It's great to have you here, and yeah, thanks again for having me here.
You're very welcome. Thank you. It is scary, but it's so exciting. I feel very optimistic not just about that, just even the sunshine here in England is making me feel a lot more optimistic. We've had a lot of kind of cruise news that sounds like we might actually get to cruise in summer from the UK, which is exciting. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed, things are going to get better and better quite a lot faster. You, one of the very few people who managed to cruise during 2020 after all of this stuff happened. How many did you do? You did a couple, didn't you?
Three. Yeah. I did 3 cruises in the last 4 months of last year, I think.
Oh, it was amazing. It was so cool to watch that, because I'd read all of the stuff, you know how it is, but to actually see you on those cruises, it was so much fun. Which ships?
It was so much fun to be on the cruises too.
I can imagine, but I can't do that.
Sorry.
Which ships did you do?
I cruised twice with TUI Mein Schiff. So, TUI Cruises has a German brand here. They're called Mein Schiff. Very cool, very modern ships.
Yeah.
They're all inclusive. So everything had great food, a lot of alcohol, and it was great. And then I also cruised with the MSC Grandiosa, very large, very sparkly, sparkly ship from MSC. The 2 cruises with TUI were cruises to nowhere, so we didn't stop anywhere. And by the way, that's going to be the subject, just to promote myself here for a second. That's going to be the subject of the Sunday Sofa Time this week on my channel. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about what is a cruise to nowhere, which is probably going to be what the beginning of cruising will be for everybody else. Come over to Sunday Sofa Time on Very Unofficial Travel Guides. But so those were cruises to nowhere up to Stockholm, where we did just a lot of sightseeing, but never left the ship. Yeah. And then the cruise I did with the Grandiosa was around Italy and Malta.
Yeah, I think here in the UK, we're gearing up for that type of cruise to nowhere, I think, at the beginning. Of course, it's more difficult in America with their laws that say you can't really do cruises to nowhere, but fingers crossed for us in the UK, because I have no problem going on a cruise that goes nowhere. I want to eat, I want to watch the theatre shows, I want to be back on a cruise ship at any cost. So fingers crossed that will happen. We have a very...
I can't believe how many people, well, I mean, it's not like a lot, but still people were showing up or show up in the comments on these videos, saying, why would you want to be on a cruise ship if you can't if it doesn't take you anywhere? And I think, have you ever been on a cruise ship?
Exactly.
Just being on the ship, that is so much a part of it.
Yeah, but what is the alternative? The alternative is not be on a cruise. So I would be at home that literally goes nowhere, and you have to cook your own food, and you have to clean everything yourself. So it's like no brainer to me, but you know how it is. Jenny says, question, do Costa not cost a lot? Ha ha ha. The Costa cruise I took didn't cost a lot, but the Costa cruise that Morgan was planning on taking or looking at taking, I think cost a lot. So for me, if the Costa cruise doesn't cost a lot, I think go for it. But if you could take a different cruise line for the same price, I would probably pick an MSC cruise, any of the big American cruise lines. We have a question that says, it's very important. It is potato related. And it says, what is Morgan's favorite way of eating a potato?
I am so bad at picking a favorite anything. I think it's because of my OCD or something. I don't know. Immediately when I have to pick a favorite something, I immediately start questioning why. But of course, I love potato chips,
crisps.
We call them chips, you call them crisps. But I also like chips, like fries.
Yeah.
For a long time, I don't know if it was like this in other parts of the world, but for a long time here in Germany, there was a big sweet potato fry trend. Do you have that as well?
Yeah, I haven't really got on the sweet potato train.
I feel like it's kind of over now anyways, but
yeah. I just don't, you can't beat just a roast potato or a mashed potato. Like, you don't need to make it a sweet potato. Potato is a perfect thing, I think. Yeah. My mum says she's actually eating a potato and she's watching this on the TV. So there we go. We have a question from Dawn that says, when is the UK returning to cruising? A difficult question, and I wish I had a proper answer for you, but I think we have more of an answer now than we did a couple of weeks ago. So Princess and P&O have cancelled pretty much their summer season. They've rather annoyingly cancelled my British Isles cruise to make way for British Isles itineraries, which is kind of annoying. But they're planning on starting with really short cruises. They haven't said at the moment if they're going to have any ports or not. So we may see a few kind of cruises to nowhere and then cruises to close by places in the UK. But I suspect we'll see some towards the end of summer. We'll see some cruises like that. Whether you think that that is a return to cruising as we know cruising, I'm not sure. But I'm holding out hope for at least something during the summer. I can't believe they cancelled my British Isles cruise though, because they need to make room for British Isles cruises. Like, just change my itinerary.
Don't they know who you are?
I don't think it works like that. But like Emma Cruises is on that itinerary. We're gonna have to leave that one alone. Cancel the entire season apart from the one that Emma's on. But I will.
It should be.
Yeah, it should be, but that's not really how it works. But I will have a look and see what itineraries come out, and I will book. I'll just book a last minute to nowhere or something. But
I have a question for you about that.
Mm-hmm.
So did you get, what were the options? This is something I'm personally curious about. I'm not just asking it, like as a YouTuber, what were the options that they gave you then to do with the money that you had already paid?
Well, technically they haven't told me yet.
Okay.
But I have found my cruise on a list on the Princess website of these cruises are going and they're being replaced by these ones if you want to do like a lift and shift. So I can move to pretty much the same itinerary next year, or they will give you like the usual onboard credit plus something nice to make you stay. But I haven't heard yet. The news came out with the fact that they were cancelling all the summer itineraries, international itineraries for British Isles. And I was thinking, I have a British Isles, like surely mine will be okay. Just get rid of, I think we were supposed to have a stop in France. Just get rid of that. Like, I don't care about that. But I think the problem is we booked a too long a cruise. We'll probably start with maybe 4 nights or something, is what I'm thinking. So I thought I was being so smart when I booked that cruise, though, because I thought if we return to cruising in summer, it's going to be British Isles itineraries, which it is. So I was right on that one. But I was too keen, I think. Too keen. We have a question that says, Morgan, after the pandemic, would you return to TUI cruises when the other cruise companies come back?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. TUI cruises, I mean, the thing is, I know most of the people in my audience will never take a TUI cruise. So when it comes to, just like you, Emma, one of the main reasons I make the videos I make is not only to entertain people, but also to help people know what to expect when they decide or are deciding that they want to do the same thing. And so in that sense, that basically falls away for probably like 97% of my audience, but they are fantastic ships. The level of service was amazing. And the fact that it's all included and it's like, yeah, it's just a really great cruise. So yeah, I definitely
they look like really nice ships. I'd never really looked into them before this year because I just hadn't, for no reason, but I just hadn't. And then I saw videos of you on there and other people on there. I thought it's not really what I expected. It's a lot nicer than what I thought it would be like. I don't know where I got my ideas from, but they look like really nice ships. And yeah, the all-inclusive thing makes it so much easier. So. Yeah, I would cruise.
It's so nice not having to worry about the drink package and specialty restaurants and stuff like that. I mean, there are a few specialty restaurants on the ship, but there are so many fantastic options, and it's like really like different options that, yeah, I definitely would do it again.
Yeah, maybe once because that's what you've done for the last year, you're going to have a look for just anything different probably for a while, aren't you? Once you can get back on the big American cruise lines and stuff, but it's done you quite well, I think. Yeah, my mom says that they've told my brother that the cruise has been cancelled. I haven't had anything, but I'm assuming it's cancelled if they've told my brother because we're going on the cruise together. Okay,
I was going to say, is he on the cruise as well? Or for some reason, they get in touch
I'm in a
with him.
cabin with my brother, so maybe they just decided he was the designated person. I'm pretty sure I booked it. Maybe I should know, but assuming it's cancelled. But yeah, I thought I was being so clever with that one. I still have a cruise booked for May with Royal Caribbean that they just won't cancel. Please, just cancel it now. It's not going to happen. But I do that. Norway isn't letting people in, so please.
Have you thought at all about that factor of it all? That in a way, it's almost like investing money in stocks or something now, by booking a cruise that you know is going to be canceled, because then you almost always get offered some kind of bonus in addition to it.
It does feel like that. It's just for me, normally here from the UK, I'm planning on kind of sticking closer to home in the short term. And we don't normally have the big, good Royal Caribbean cruise ships that I want to cruise on from here. So I'm not sure if, I'm not loyal to any cruise line. If I see a great cruise on Norwegian versus Royal Caribbean or Celebrity instead of Princess, like, I'm not loyal. I'll go on any cruise line. So I think for me, I prefer to have that money back so that I can do what I want with it rather than be stuck in with one cruise line. But it does feel like an investment. If you're somebody who loves Royal Caribbean, like we had Matt on here from Royal Caribbean blog, there's no doubt that he's going to want to cruise with Royal Caribbean next. He might as well invest his money on it. But for me, I'm just not that loyal to any cruise line, so I prefer to have my money back for that one. And same with, I booked my first Carnival cruise. I've never cruised with Carnival. I booked that for May of 2020, but they don't cruise from the UK very often, so I decided to get a refund on that one because
they almost never. I don't think they've ever really had a season in Europe. I think last summer was supposed to be the first time, and then
I think we've got one of the older ships in 2022 now, maybe Carnival Pride coming in 2022 for a bit, because I saw that and I thought, oh, from the UK maybe, but I would want to do Mardi Gras or something if I was cruising with Carnival. I'd want to go all out on one of those cruise ships. So we will have a look. We have a question. Have you tried Guy's Burgers on Carnival? Do they have a veggie one? That's a very good question. Do they?
Well, I don't eat meat, and as far as I could tell, there was no veggie burger offered. This is another time where I think, okay, I was just on a Carnival cruise, but that's already also been almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or was it a year ago? No, it was a year ago. It was January of 2020. So,
okay.
And I did not eat at Guy's Burgers, but and I'm assuming now, as I dig through my memory, that it's because they didn't have a veggie burger. However, it may be just because I always ate at the taco place because the Blue Iguana tacos were just so fantastic that I was like, I'm going to take this instead of that. But I think, or you know what? It's either that they didn't have a veggie burger or the veggie burger is one of those where it's just a big chunk of mushroom, and I don't like that. I think it's probably that, actually.
That's fair. This is something that I think about now, because I stopped eating meat in 2020 when I came home. I just stopped eating meat, and I haven't eaten meat for a while. I don't know how long you have to not eat meat for before you can say you're a vegetarian, but I would not like to go back to it, really. So I've never really looked at this stuff, and I've realized now when I look at my menu photos and things, there's some places that just don't have veggie options on the big American cruise lines compared to, if I'm on an MSC cruise, I'm always eating their strange vegan this and that, whatever they have. But looking at when I went on Encore, I had to look at all the menus and I don't know how that's going to work. I'm interested when I get back to cruising to pay more attention to it. But
well, that's why I like to spend a lot of time in the buffet, just because there's always more options, I feel like, and one thing I don't like it when people fuss over me, especially when it comes to eating. And when you're in the main dining room and there's, maybe only one vegetarian or maybe vegetarian friendly thing on the menu. And I feel like as soon as the servers get a drift of that, then all of a sudden, that is the subject for every meal is there enough for you to eat? And can I bring you something else? And was that okay? Do you want me to bring you something else? And that's just, I just don't
Yeah.
like that. That's why I prefer to go to the buffet. And speaking of Carnival, I was on the Carnival Sunrise, and the TUI ships that I was on had those two like brands or ships had the biggest variety of unbelievably tasty vegetarian options.
Good.
Never would have expected it to be Carnival, but
Yeah. I'm sure it's getting a lot better. It's just something I've never thought about before, and now I'm starting to look at it and think about it. So that'll be interesting when I get back to cruising. I know they all have vegetarian options and things, but I think also where I'm from in the UK, it's so easy to get vegan everything, vegetarian everything, and I'm just so used to it being so easy. And the thought of being kind of having to eat like a, I don't know, a stuffed mushroom or something, like I don't want that when you can get such good like pretend meat things that I eat at home all the time. So I will wait and see. But yeah, interesting. We have a question from Matthew that says, does Morgan think MSC could be the key to earlier cruising in the UK as they've spent so long practicing cruising?
well, I mean, what do you think, Emma? I mean, MSC is
Yeah, I
cruising
think
right
so.
now. I mean, if I, you know, there are MSC, the Grandiosa is cruising right now, and in a couple of weeks, the Magnifica is starting too, and it's been with just a short break. They've been cruising since last year already. So I feel like it's definitely possible, but it has more to do, I think, with the UK than it does with MSC, right?
Yeah, I think as soon as the UK says MSC, you can come back and you can cruise. MSC, they've got everything figured out. And yeah, they should have it all figured out by now. I think it was last July they started cruising, which is crazy. And they've got all of their technology on the ships, haven't they? The MSC for me, wristbands and things, which must really help them. So and MSC is definitely another one when we can cruise again. I'm going to be booking some sort of last minute MSC cruise just to see how that is, because I've cruised with MSC 3 times and I like them. So yeah, we will see. We have other questions, and I'm sorry if I miss your questions, if I miss your comments. It's hard to find a next question while I'm still thinking about the you know, I want to be fully involved in this conversation with Morgan. So sorry if I do miss your questions.
It's all my fault.
Yeah, it's all Morgan's fault. He came here and gave us his time for free, just to inconvenience me. That's what it is, even though I asked him on here. Bonnie says, would you cruise out of Liverpool? Yes, I would cruise out of anywhere from the UK, but I live so close to Southampton that to go up to Liverpool would be kind of annoying for me. So I'm glad I live near the major cruise port here in the UK. But I would cruise to Liverpool, probably from down here in the south, if that would be an option. So I don't see why not. Lots of people saying ask for the vegetarian menu, vegan menu. Yeah, fair enough. We'll have a look at all of that stuff. Marcus says, has Hudson gone to the North Pole? I'm guessing you mean on this map. No, he's not gone to the North Pole. He is up there. Can you see him?
Are you asking me?
Anybody?
Everybody.
Anybody see him? He's in Alaska. So close by. I do have Hudson's Dreamies right here if we want to try and summon a Hudson. They do normally work. Will you guys be traveling with Virgin Voyages? Morgan?
I would love to. I mean, it's a really interesting concept.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your videos would do fantastically. And I would too. I would really like to try them out. I'm so annoyed that they didn't get the chance to get actual people on board. And I wanted to
cruise with Virgin.
Yeah, well, I spent the night on the ship, but it didn't go anywhere. And it was just a press event.
Okay.
Okay, but I
so
want to see. Yeah, I don't count that as a cruise because we didn't cruise anywhere. I think it has to move for it to be a cruise. But
that was really a cruise to nowhere.
Yeah, it was Southampton's rainy dock. It didn't even flow away from the dock. But I just want to see what real people think of it. So I think it's such bad timing for them. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to try and summon a Hudson. I'm going to mute myself because otherwise I'm just going to be shouting Hudson upstairs, okay?
Okay, I'm going to look over here so I can see what's happening.
Okay.
Will she do it?
I hear his little feet. Hudson, hello. There we go. I should always do this. I should always get Hudson to come in right now. Oh, question from John says, is it okay for a 38-year-old to be sat eating Haribo Super Mix? Of course it is. Hudson, dreams. Okay, yeah. There we go. There's Hudson, everybody, doing his show.
Hi, buddy.
So, Morgan, what are your plans for any future cruises as you have the actual option?
Cruising?
Yeah, what are
you mean if I'm going on a cruise?
Yes, are you going on a cruise soon?
I'm going on a cruise.
Yes.
Who said I'm going on a cruise? I didn't say I'm going on a cruise. I'm not going on a cruise. Not today.
Sounds like something you would do, Morgan. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I may be cruising again very soon.
I think you might be. Hudson thinks you might be. Hudson's right here. He's meowing. Hello, Hudson. Are you not going to tell us any more interesting information, Morgan?
I don't know where you got. Who started these rumors?
You. From our last conversation, I think I put you off of taking a Costa cruise. I didn't mean to, but for the price that you were quoted, I think that was the right decision to take another cruise.
Well, when we spoke, there were the three options. There was the Costa cruise, and then MSC and TUI, and Costa is now out of the picture because they have also moved all their sailings. They don't start. Oh, I'll be right back.
Oh, I've got the same with Hudson climbing all over me.
Can you see me again?
Yep, you're back.
Yeah. Okay,
You're
so the Costa Smeralda is not going to start cruising until end of May, I think now. So that's also for any time in the near future, not an option. But I have been looking very closely at the other options.
Yeah.
And yes, there may be something to report on very soon.
I hope there is. I think we need something like that. I'm so envious. Hudson is just causing chaos here. You can't see him.
I have a cat too, so you know.
I know, yeah.
She goes crazy in the background when I'm doing live streams or when I have like meetings or whatever, Zoom meetings, but she will never come into the frame unless I really, really coerce her because she freaks out about the light. I don't know. She doesn't like the light.
That's the thing. Hudson normally is quite happily sat here until about 7 seconds till I go live. Then we turn the light on and he is off. But he has got his dinner there. I forgot to he's got an automatic cat food feeder because he's on a diet, so it measures his food for him. And I normally move it away, but it's right there. So I apologize, guys. In about 10 minutes, you're gonna hear Hudson getting his dinner because I always forget. I was distracted by Morgan. We have lots of
again.
Yeah.
Don't say things like that to somebody like me. I was brought up Catholic, Emma. Don't you know this guilt that's coming my way? I don't know if I'm going to make it through this.
I'm so sorry. But also, no, not really. We have loads of people with cats in the comments and loads of people who love Hudson. And I sometimes wonder if people just come here for Hudson. Alison says, Emma, you lost your Iona cruise. I did lose my own Iona cruise because it was January. It was supposed to be in January, so that's long gone. It is, as my mum says, it is much more expensive next January, and they didn't give us any option to shift it or move it. It was just gone. So I would like to cruise on Iona, and I will at some point, but for now I have not rebooked it. But it does look interesting. I do wonder with P&O, they don't even have an app yet, and I'm thinking, I think you need to catch up given everything that's kind of happened with the technology and the wristbands and things. So I'm interested in watching what they do because now is a good time to at least get an app and follow through on that. So we'll see what happens, but at the moment it's cancelled.
Was that another one of the ships that was launched and then nobody sailed on it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be, I think May was supposed to be or maybe April or May kind of time. And it was finished and it was supposed to be maiden voyage, I think April or May. And since then it's just been waiting. Yeah, waiting, which is really bad timing. But I mean, they plan them about 4 years in advance, don't they? So it's not as if they can just pause it and say, like, back up because they're coming and new ships are coming out all the time.
think of all the new ships that are going to be like immediately available when things like start to widespread open up again.
Yeah,
like, there's never been the possibility. There's never been that selection of like brand new ships available at one time. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've got all the normal scheduled ones, of which there were loads anyway, especially MSC. You've seen MSC's plan for future cruise ships. It's like, I'll have 3 new ones in 2023 and then 2 more in 2024. And every year they've got so many ships coming out. Their plan is absolutely crazy. But yeah, we've got all the ones that are kind of backed up and just waiting. So it's going to be very, very exciting. There's going to be too much choice, but I'll cruise on any of them. Sean says, do we know which ships Princess or P&O are going to use for the British Isles cruises? I think they're using Sky and Crown for British Isles Princess. I'm not sure about P&O. I've been paying more attention to Princess because that is the one that was cancelled for me. I'm booked on Sky Princess. I would really like to go on Sky Princess again. I've cruised on Golden Princess, which is one of the smallest and older ones for Princess. I've been on some others for ship tours, and it would be nice to do a new one. So Sky and Regal, says Paul, for summer UK short cruises. I would take that. I've cruised on the Royal Princess, which is Regal's sister. Very sparkly, very nice. And Britannia for P&O, says Alison. I would cruise with P&O anytime. John says,
oh, sorry.
Carry on.
I've never cruised with Princess, and how would you compare Princess to, let's say, MSC?
Oh gosh. Okay, so it's very tricky to compare it to MSC, I think. If we compare it to like just a general American cruise line, you know, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, any of those ones, they don't have the big kind of go-karts and flow riders and zip lines and stuff like that. It's a lot more grown up. It's a lot more kind of romantic, and the food is really, really good. The service is really, really good. It feels to me like there's a lot more just space per person. The ships have, I think, about 5 or 6 swimming pools on each ship, which I really, really like.
That's nice.
And to me, it's very consistently good all the time. A lot of other ships, I think, oh, this restaurant's amazing, but here it's rubbish. On Princess, I've never found anything to complain about with food or service. Entertainment's actually really good too, but it's more kind of relaxed, and it's a bit more traditional than a Royal Caribbean or a Norwegian. It's less sparkly than an MSC, and everyone's English and stuff like that. But I don't think you can really go wrong with a Princess cruise. If you like food, if you like just chilling out, you like swimming pools, and it's just
okay.
I don't think you can go wrong with it. If you're somebody who, you know, you need a flow rider and water slides and stuff like that, you don't have any of that. But apart from that, the cookies, as Lou says on Princess, absolutely amazing. The food's really good.
Similar to P&O? I've also never cruised with P&O.
So P&O, I think P&O and Princess are fairly similar. They're the same sort of market that they attract. P&O for us here in the UK, if somebody tells me they're going on their first cruise and they're from the UK, there's like a 95% chance it's a P&O cruise, because everything on our TV, everything advertised to us is P&O cruises with the big Union Jack on the front. They've got UK plug sockets in some of the cabins and your favorite brand of tea, and it's very, very British on there. I don't mind that. If you're somebody who, you know, some of us from Britain don't want to be with other British people on a cruise sometimes. If you want something like an MSC cruise where you've got different people on there, it's 98%, I would say, British people on a P&O cruise.
I think they only advertise to British people. I don't think I've ever seen any advertisement here for P&O.
Yeah, they make it tricky because Sean and Steph did do one from the US, but to book, you can only book, I think, direct or through Vacations to Go. So you have to really make an effort to do it. If you were just browsing on a travel agent's website and you were in the US, you'd never see a P&O cruise. But they loved it. And I think if you're going to come to Britain, and you might as well go all in and go for a real British experience and be surrounded by, you know, afternoon tea and stuff like that. But I would say it's pretty similar to Princess. It's very kind of middle ground. Everything is good. It's not crazy. You're not going to find crazy nightlife or, you know, flow riders and surf simulators and stuff like that, but it's also not boring.
Also close at 11.
I don't think so. Oh gosh, and on the P&O cruise I took, the buffet would be open until 2 or 3 in the morning, and it would just be like sandwiches and cookies and the exact food that you want late at night, which was really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, I think so. Most people who cruise from the UK for their first cruise take a P&O cruise, but then some of their older ships are much more traditional. It's much more fixed dining, and people who cruise with P&O do like their dress codes, and they do the captain's welcome drinks, and they like that traditional cruising thing. You can avoid it, of course, but we've got lots of questions about saunas. On which cruise ships can you use the saunas for free? I've only really used the sauna in kind of like the gym, what is it called? Like the spa area place. What's it called? On like an MSC cruise where you get a pass.
Like the thermal suite?
Thermal suite, yeah, that's what it is. That's the only time I've ever used that. I've never been on any cruise ship with a free sauna. I don't know why the conversation's just changed to saunas, but I can't think of any that have. Yeah, I can't think of any that have free saunas. I'm not normally a massive spa person. Do you usually have the spa treatments and stuff like that?
Well, I kind of swore off going to get a massage on ships just because it's always so enormously overpriced compared to really fantastic places that you can go on land. But every once in a while, I still go back just to sort of review it and let people know what it was like.
Yeah.
And to answer the sauna question, sometimes on ships, if there's what they call a thermal suite, that almost always costs extra, or it's included, like if you have a suite or higher, or a certain amount of points or whatever. But a lot of times, if you go to the fitness studio, in the locker room of the fitness studio area, there'll be another free sauna or steam room. I've seen that on quite a few ships.
That would be why I don't know that, because I don't go near the gym or any fitness center on a cruise. Not looking for a sauna, but yeah, the thing about any kind of spa treatments on a cruise is I spend the whole thing stressed out about the fact that they're going to sell me everything at the end of the massage, and I'm going to have to tell them that I don't want these products, and I spend the entire time stressing about that.
Well, that's something that's like a discovery that I made on the 2 cruises I did last January. The first one was Carnival, and then the second one was Disney. And I was so surprised because on Carnival, they were slightly pushy. Yeah. But it was okay. Like I felt like I got out of it as soon as I wanted to get out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then on Disney, I was totally surprised because Disney, is famous for having just such a high level of customer service and high standard and also high prices. And that's where I discovered that Carnival and Disney, they don't run their spas. They use an external service, and it's the same service. So the products that are being suggested and the training that these people have is exactly the same on Carnival, which is, a relatively inexpensive line, and Disney, which is like almost a premium line, you know what I mean? And on Disney, they were so, I can't think of the right word, so aggressive with it that I felt like they were not going to let me out of the room before I bought a product. That sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it was so penetrating that that's the word that Germans use. I can't think of a better word in English, but it was just so direct and so intense, and I got so uncomfortable, and I thought the only way I'm going to get out of this is if I'm totally rude, and just like you said, that turned me off of wanting to go to cruise ship spas.
Yeah, I've never really been a big fan of that stuff anyway, and when I have had things done in the spa, I just find it so stressful. It's just tricky. Because
sometimes for literally half of what you pay on a cruise ship, you can go to a nice spa or massage place at home, and it's just so much less stressful. And I always think when you're on a cruise, you're already doing something nice and different, and distracting. And so why not save that, whatever it's going to cost you, 40 euros, 40 quid, 50, 60, whatever. Save that for a time when you're back at home and you really need something special during like your everyday routine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you can have an hour of happy, but then if you put it on top of your cruise where you're already happy for a week, it's not quite the same as if you save it.
Exactly.
I totally agree.
Exactly.
Alison says she just tells them right at the beginning before she has the treatment that she will not be buying anything, so don't bother, but she will tip you. I think that's a nice way of doing it. I don't know if I would have the confidence to do that. I would like to, but well done, Alison, on that.
And I always think because this spa company, I watched, somebody did a YouTube video, like an expose about the company. The men and women who work for them, they get a relatively small, like monthly salary, and sunset went away. A relatively small monthly salary, and then their wages are basically based on how many products they sell, and that's why it's so important to them. And of course, then they get bonuses for reaching certain levels. And I always feel like if I were to tell them in the beginning, listen, I'm not buying anything from you, that they would automatically become totally demotivated. You know what I mean? That they'd be like, oh, great. What a waste. Yeah.
I guess, but then I guess if you're saying you'll tip them, then they've still got a reason. But it must be such a tough job. I don't think I could do it. Been spoiled with an office job. The idea of doing that, tricky work. We have a question from Jenny who says, Morgan, we hope to visit Germany in the future. Where would you recommend we go first? The whole of Germany.
Well, that's a tricky question to answer without really knowing more about. What was it, Jenny?
Jenny,
yeah. Like, how old are you? What kind of things do you like? I mean, I'm always focused on where's the fun stuff, where are the theme parks, where are the water parks and things like that. And so if I were to make suggestions about that to you, Jenny, and that's not what you like, it doesn't really make sense. Do you like to go to museums? Do you like the cities, or do you love to go hiking and see nature? There's, all that's possible. Do you like to go skiing? You can do that in Germany too. Jenny, if you really want me to like get into it, then send me a private message on, Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and let me know just a little bit more about what it is you usually like to do when you go someplace else, and then I'll let you know.
You'd be a really good tour guide. I can see you taking, someone's profile of what they like and just coming up with all of this stuff, which would be cool. But for me, if you sent me to the theme parks, I'm not a big theme park person, so I think not really. And I've never been skiing.
Emma, why do we get along so well together? You don't like theme parks. You've never seen Star Wars. I
know. We're totally different, but that's why it works. Because between us, we've got one full personality of liking everything. But
you like cruise ships and cats. So
cruise ships and cats, and I can't promise you that I'm ever going to watch Star Wars because I don't think I am.
Well,
but then again, I never thought I'd watch Lord of the Rings, so here we are. It's because I watched Game of Thrones, and now I'm feeling confident I can watch anything and I can pay attention. But maybe one day, maybe. Is Hamburg an industrial port?
Yes, and a cruise port.
Yes, but like one you would like to just. Do you have to? What do you do when you dock there? Do you have to get something to go into town?
It depends, because there's actually 3 cruise terminals in Hamburg, and 2 of them you can walk right off and basically into something interesting. And the newest one, the most modern one, is on the other side of the river. So Hamburg is actually on a river. So if you do cruise to Hamburg or from Hamburg, and a lot of ships come here, especially a lot of the transatlantic Queen Mary crossings, they stop in Hamburg on the way there or on the way back. So if you do stop in Hamburg, you're going to be coming down the river, which is also a very special thing on a cruise. You know what I mean? But the newest one is on the other side of the river. And then, you do, you can walk it. And if you walk it, you can walk through the big tunnel underneath the river. But that's only for people who know Hamburg or who are very adventurous. Otherwise, you will have to take some sort of transportation to get into the city.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. I've never visited there on a cruise yet. We have got lots of people who can't believe I've not watched Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I brought that up.
Oh,
Let's
Jenny.
That's the new comment word on on Emma's channel. Let's forget potato and now just write Star Wars references in her comments, please.
Things I won't understand, and I'll comment and be like, sorry, can you explain it? It doesn't make any sense. I have things like that all the time. Now that I've watched things, because I've pretty much spent this year catching up on Disney films that I never watched. Now I hear quotes, I see memes, and I'm like, I know what movie that's from now. So yeah, I'm guessing there. Jenny says thank you, and she says fun, theme parks, Vegas, and Harmony of the Seas. These are her themes for things that Jenny likes. So she sounds like she's quite similar to you, Morgan.
Okay. Yeah,
But
that does sound very familiar.
She says thank you. I'm sure she will be in touch. Brandon just says, what's up? Is anything up with you, Morgan?
Everything that's not down.
Oh, Ladybug says, don't feel bad, Emma. I've not watched Star Wars and I'm 43. So there we go. I don't have to watch Star Wars. Thank you. We have a question that says, can you compare TUI to MSc?
Yes, I can.
You can.
Shall I?
I think you shall, yeah. Go for it.
Well, if I had to pick which one I prefer, I would say from the ship itself, just the ship, it would be the MSc Grandiosa. Like if I'm, looking at the recent cruises I did, because of really great water park, lots of pool areas, like 3 pool areas actually, modern design. Well, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The food and the entertainment and the service, definitely TUI. Okay,
so you want to take everything off of the TUI ship and put it on the MSc ship.
Well, you know what? Why don't we say this? Because the MSc ship also very new. I mean, their whole fleet is like less than 6 years old, I think, or something like that. At least the ships I was on. Why don't we take the Lido deck of the Grandiosa and put it on the TUI ship, and then
that would be so much easier, of course.
Yeah.
I've only cruised on Meraviglia, but only in January and December. So I don't think I did go on the water slides. I did do the ropes course, but I don't think I really appreciated the kind of the deck up there because it was freezing cold. We have got Tony in here from La Liga Loca.
Hey, Tony.
Royalty in the house. I'll have to get Tony back on here sometime too. I think I spoke to Tony before I even spoke to you, Morgan, which is 6 months ago because I don't know. Crazy. Michael says, could you ever see the UK building large-scale cruise ships again? No. No, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. Any sailing updates on Costa Cruise? Morgan had one earlier, didn't you? They've pushed back the newest ship for a while. I had a question about how much money we raised for Sean and Steph, and the answer is in the chat somewhere. We are about £60 away from our £2,000 stretch target, I would say. I never thought that we would raise £2,000. So fingers crossed we can get there. Thank you so much to everybody who has donated for that.
Can people still donate? How do they do that?
Yeah, I made a PayPal pool because I didn't really want to do it through YouTube because they take 30% of the super chats, don't they? So if my moderators in here, if one of you could link to that PayPal pool, that would be really, really cool. You have the power if you're a moderator on YouTube to put links in the chat. And we're so close so far. How about you and Morgan go on a cruise together? I would do that, Morgan. You go on a cruise
we can go on a cruise together with both of our imaginary boyfriends.
Both of our imaginary boyfriends. They can go on one together, to be fair. They're both imaginary. They're not imaginary. Morgan did see Jono before this chat, and he can confirm that Jono does exist.
It's true. I have. Well, I can confirm that there was a man in her apartment. Let's leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that.
Who he was and what their relation to each other is, let's not take it too far.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. We can go on a cruise together. I don't see why not. So, what is the most luxurious cruise you've ever been on?
Are you going to go first, or should I?
I know my answer instantly because I've been on a Viking cruise. So once you've been on a Viking, I know I spent four nights on a Viking cruise. It was part of a press trip, so I flew and did a part of a cruise. And once you've done that, there's no going back. Nothing will ever compare again to a Viking cruise.
Did you have a butler waiting outside your cabin at 24 hours a day?
You could have if you wanted to. I didn't really, but they kept filling up my mini bar with Diet Coke every time I left the room. Oh, it was amazing. Underfloor heating in the bathroom. The mirrors don't fog up. Things like that. Every kind of sun lounger has the little towel nicely folded there and water bottles everywhere. Nothing's too much trouble. It was so good. Good vegetarian food on there too. Even the food that was kind of pool deck food was better than you'd find in any kind of restaurant that I found on land or any main dining room anywhere else. It was amazing. So good.
But did they have water slides?
No, they don't have water slides. But for the first time, they have the pool that has the roof that actually retracts and it actually works. I've never seen it work on any other cruise ship before. They've often had them. But yeah, so that's my answer. I've never seen it work.
You mean you've never seen that? You've never seen it in action, or you've never seen it be functional?
I've never seen it be functional or in action, but I have only cruised on Meraviglia during January and December, and it was always too cold. No one's going to want it open. So
yeah, why would they open it? Yeah.
Maybe that. But yeah, what's your most luxurious cruise?
Well, I can only say, I would like to say the most luxurious cabin that I've cruised in, because most of I've stayed pretty much in the same class of cruise ships. I mean, probably the most luxurious and definitely the most expensive cruise I ever did was my Disney cruise. But the most luxurious cabin I stayed in was on my second TUI cruise last year. We decided to do an upgrade, and we ended up in this gigantic 2-level suite with a huge picture window, and we had the top level was it was all outside. So we had a gigantic, basically rooftop terrace only for us, and then a downstairs with the bedroom and bathroom and all that. It was ridiculous. I don't know if I'll ever stay someplace like that again, but yeah, that was definitely, without a doubt, the most luxurious cruise quarters I've ever had.
I remember seeing that, being like, oh, where's Morgan? Oh, he's on a cruise. Lucky him. Oh, where is he? Oh, he's in this suite that's unlike anything I've ever seen before. Oh gosh, it looked amazing. So cool. Very envious. Yeah, we have a question from Tony that says, what cruise line have you not tried but would like to try the most?
All of them.
All of the ones you haven't cruised on?
The answer is yes.
Yes, I will try. Yeah, I think so too.
I think for me, one of the next big ones on my list is Celebrity.
Yeah.
It just seems like a logical comparison for me. But then there's so many. I think I will enjoy Celebrity, and now I really want to try Costa just because of the comments and feedback that I've been getting from people. I think that would also be interesting, perhaps in a totally different way.
Yeah, I would love to see.
I mean, all of them, Princess, Costa. I think it would be interesting to try P&O. I've heard mixed great things about. Now I can't think of it again. What's the cruise line that mostly old people cruise on?
I don't want to say it. That's me saying it. A British one, is it?
No, Holland America.
Oh, Holland. Oh, I would try Holland America. I've heard the food is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but it's mostly people 65 and older.
I mean, I've cruised with Cunard, and I think that has the oldest passenger demographic that I've ever seen. And I had an amazing time. It was a really good cruise. So I think I'd like Holland America. I don't see why not.
So what about you? Answer the question.
Well, as I have been trying to cruise with Carnival, I'd really like to cruise with Carnival, because I think out of all of the big companies, that's quite a big one to be missing from my, I feel like I know so much about it already, so don't feel like I'm missing the knowledge from there, but like I tried and I don't know, I just think it would be fun. I think I'd like it. So hopefully at some point that will work out. I just don't know. They're just not here that much. They're not here in the UK. And I don't, even if Carnival Pride is, I think I'd prefer to do a proper blowout cruise and go over to America and do one of the big Carnival ships rather than just do a few days on that. But I'll do anyone. There's not really any cruise lines that I wouldn't like to cruise with. I said before, I think the only cruise line that I wasn't interested in was Cruise and Maritime Voyages. I've said that before, but now they've gone bust. So I don't have to worry about that one.
Decision made.
Yeah, just because their ships were really old, and it doesn't interest me. I've cruised with ships kind of from the 80s onwards, that's fine. But once you get back to kind of the 60s and stuff, I don't know. I don't have too much interest in those ships. But then when you get to kind of really old ships again, I have more interest. It's just the kind of middle piece. But yeah, apart from that, I think I would try absolutely anything. We have a question that says, what do you think about river cruises, Morgan?
I think, a river cruise is the only cruise that I've had now that has been canceled due to all this. Otherwise, I've been pretty good about not having anything booked that got canceled. Yeah. And it's something that I am personally not really interested in, because everything I love about ocean cruising does not exist on a river cruise.
Yeah.
And I'll be right back. Here I am. And I was lucky enough, one of the very, very, very few times that a company got in touch with me and said, we would like to invite you to go on this cruise and just make videos about it. And so I was really excited that happened, and then it got canceled. But I will be doing a river cruise as soon as I can. I think it's a great way to see a lot of Europe, but you have to think of it as something completely different than an ocean cruise.
Yeah, I've done 2 river cruises, and all the time people ask me to compare them to ocean cruises, and it's completely different things. I would say a river cruise is like, I used to do a lot of kind of just cheap city breaks and weekends in this place, and it's just a really easy way to do that kind of just hopping between cities and things on a ship. But it's nothing like ocean cruising. It's completely, it's completely different. And the thing is I thought when I took my first river cruise, I thought the people on there would be ocean cruisers, and most of them had never been on an ocean cruise, had no interest in it. Okay. It's completely different. Apart from the fact that it's a cruise, that's like the only thing that links those two things together. So they're great, but you wouldn't replace an ocean cruise with a river cruise. You would just supplement it with some river cruises if you can, which would be really good. We have managed again to speak for an hour.
I was just going to say, I got to get going. It's a very exciting night because we have visitors for the first time since I don't know when. I
wouldn't know what to do with visitors.
Yeah, so we are allowed at the moment to have 2 households can get together. And Marcus's brother and his girlfriend are here, and they've been cooking this whole time, and it's gotten mysteriously or suspiciously quiet up in the West Wing. So I assume they're all just sitting there waiting for me. So I'm getting nervous now too and hungry. But thank you for having me. It went by so fast.
You're very welcome. We'll have to do this again in another 6 months, and then every 6 months, and see what changes between our live streams, because it's been a crazy, crazy year. But good luck with your future cruise that you won't tell us what it is yet. We will be waiting, and I'll be
I don't know why you got the impression that I'm going to be going on a cruise soon.
That's the only thing you've talked about. You have you for ages. I'm just so envious. I think that's the main thing for me. But yeah, thank you so much to everybody who has joined us. We've got so many people in the chat today. All the best, Morgan. Enjoy your evening.
Don't forget to press thumbs up and leave a comment, a Star Wars related comment.
No, please. I mean, you can, but I'm not going to understand any of these jokes. And is the plan to make me feel so left out that I have to watch the movie? Is that the plan? Probably. I mean, it probably would work. Right.
I mean, you are left out if you haven't seen the movie, so
it's fine. I don't mind. We have got £12 left on my target for the fundraising. So if someone has £12, please get us over that thing, because that would be so cool. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I will let you get off. I'll be back here next week. I'm just gonna chat to you by myself next week. I think that's what I would like to do. So I'll be here, same place. And thank you, Morgan, for joining us. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you next week. Oh no, I've got Star Wars comments already.